without further ado, my friends, we're gonna learn about GNOMEREGAN. Okay? GNOMEREGAN is coming out tomorrow in the P2 of SAW, the GNOMEREGAN raid. We're gonna learn here from Platinum WoW about the catastrophic failure of the gnomes in Warcraft. I don't know what this video is gonna be about. Like, I'm really curious. Okay. For GNOMEREGAN!
Ingenious, resourceful, forward-thinking, and very puntable. These are all ways to describe the gnomes, a race of brilliant inventors that pride themselves on their discoveries. But they are also the same race that sorta made their giant technologically advanced city into an irradiated trash heap.
Retreat!
In order to understand how the gnomes accidentally started this catastrophic failure, first we should go back to the very start of gnomanity.
Chills. Oh, it's so good.
Long, long ago, when the Titans first shaped the world of Azeroth, the gnomes were actually mechagnomes.
I am ready!
Mechagnomes are pretty much like normal gnomes, except they're entirely robotic. At least they were, until there was this thing called the Curse of Flesh, which turned a bunch of robotic beings on Azeroth into the fleshy creatures we know today.
Really? Is that real?
The early generations of gnomes found themselves in the snowy mountains of Dun Moreau, a hostile tundra where if you didn't freeze to death, the creatures looking for a pint-sized snack will get you instead.
Pint, get it? Pint size?
From the very beginning,
Dude.
the gnomes were forced to rely on their quick wit and brilliant thinking to survive.
You might feel a little tingle.
Get him!
Hell yeah.
Farewell!
But as the gnomes roamed the snowy mountains of Dun Moreau, they would realize that not everything wanted to kill them.
Salutations.
Hello!
I like large posteriors, and I cannot prevaricate.
Damn straight.
What?
Hooray!
The gnomes and their slightly taller dwarven allies were truly a match made in heaven. The dwarves and the gnomes were brilliant in their own special ways and formed an unstoppable friendship. The gnomes helped assist the dwarves in constructing the city of Ironforge, and the dwarves helped the gnomes build the city of GNOMEREGAN. So, here's the thing. A lot of the gnomes' ancient history is entirely unknown because gnomish culture is all about forward thinking and trying to invent the next big thing in a constant arms race for technological advancement. In other words, an in-universe way of saying that there isn't really any old lore of the gnomes.
Time to unveil one of my latest inventions.
But there is one gnome we can talk about. A gnome who is the very embodiment of what it means to be a gnome, and was determined to prove himself to create the most groundbreaking inventions gnomanity has ever seen.
Gnomanity.
You face the pinnacle of gnomish technology!
I am programmed for mayhem.
Gelbin Mechatork is easily the most brilliant gnomish inventor that has ever graced Azeroth. Mechatork had invented hundreds of contraptions, like the Mechanistrider, the Gyromatic Adjuster,
I
the
didn't know that.
Repair Bot, the Dwarven Siege Engine, the Gigawatt Bread Slicer, the Chronoboon Displacer, the Gnomish Army Knife, Gun, and... Okay, I made like half of those up, but the point is, Gelbin Mechatork was such a brilliant inventor, he needed a gigantic trophy case just to store all of his awards.
Perseverance is the true blueprint to success.
As Gelbin tinkered, he realized that the gnomes soon would have to put their ingenuity to the test.
Hazard approaching. Intruder alert. Self-destruct sequence initiated.
At this point in time, the Horde had just destroyed Stormwind City in the First War, and during the Second War, they marched up north to Khazmodan with hopes of conquering the city of Ironforge and Gnomeregan.
Taste Blaster!
The Horde were
Gnomeregan.
never successful in their attempt.
Nice, okay.
To reward himself, Gelbin got a souvenir, a troll-made chair that he keeps in his study that is unreasonably comfortable. Anyways, after the victory, the gnomes and the dwarves helped assist in the reconstruction of Stormwind. To make the job easier, Gelbin wrote the schematics for the Deep Run tram.
Oh, wow.
And in this tram, I guess it was important to have an arena where contenders can beat the crap out of each other, and also an underwater section with the Loch Ness Monster in it. If it wasn't obvious yet, Gelbin was praised for his ingenious designs and was promoted to High Tinkerer of Gnomeregan, and led his people into a glorious new future. It wasn't until a few years later that the High Tinker's leadership skills were really put to the test. Hello, and welcome to the Gnomeregan Report, where we got some breaking news for you citizens. The undead threat rages on as the plague infects the innocent humans of Stratholme. Here's a statement from Prince Arthas Menethil on the matter. Purge! In other news, Salisbury steak will be on the menu for... What is... While the rest of Azeroth dealt with undead and demonic invasions during the Third War, the gnomes had their own serious problems.
For Gnomeregan!
Oh, no.
You see, their dwarven allies had been digging around an ancient Titan facility called Oldman, and dug a bit too deep in regular dwarven fashion, and had awoken the race known as the Trogs.
Oh, I didn't know
These
that.
dangerous blades were attracted by the rhythmic vibrations of Gnomeregan's machinery under the earth, and they dug straight to their city.
Wait a minute, is that why there's like Trog quests, I think, like right here too? I wonder if part of the lore is like they dug up like right here, and like we're messing with the dwarves here, and then they dug further to Gnomeregan. Yeah? Yeah, okay.
Gnomeregan's machinery under the earth, and they dug straight to their city.
Let's see how you handle this little gizmo! Woohoo!
Gelbin Mekatork was quick to react to the sudden invasion and put his plans into motion. The gnomes would set up defenses to hold back the marauding Trogs, but the problem was the Trogs could kind of just dig around all of the gnomish defenses and flank the defenders. For the next 5 years, the gnomes tried and failed in defending their city. Eventually, Gelbin realized that their strategy needed to change and fast, or they'd lose the war. The High Tinker turned his attention to his council, a collection of brilliant gnomish inventors that could offer him advice. One of these chief advisors was one of Mekatork's closest friends, a gnome named Sicko Thermoplug. The idea the crazed inventor offered was an outlandish one, but it just might be crazy enough to work. The plan is simple. Gather all of the gnomish citizens and hold them in the upper floors of Gnomeregan. Release a toxic gas with a heavy volumetric weight to fill the lower reaches of the city and kill all of the Trogs. Set up clean wind
It's like Game of
domicilic
Thrones.
filters so that the toxic gas does not reach any of the gnomes on the top floor. After the Trogs are all dead, clean up the toxic gas, and then boom, the Trogs are no longer a problem. Gelbin had no time to run over his trusted friend's calculations and took his word as truth. The gnomes then organized the plan and release the pressure valves to unleash this toxic radiation into the lower levels of Gnomeregan.
This gives me so much insight on this place, man. I had no idea.
Calm down! I'm a doctor! Everyone panic!
Also, that's what's going on.
Gelbin was forced to watch in horror as his city fully collapsed in a matter of hours. Turns out, the radiation did absolutely nothing to the Trogs, other than make them really pissed and even stronger. The air filters failed, turning the gnomish citizens into sickly leper gnomes or just outright killing them. But for Sicko
man.
Thermoplug, everything was going according to plan.
Oh, he's the villain.
You see, over the years, Thermoplug was filled with a bitter hatred and envy for Mekatork.
Not a real
Thermoplug
friend.
felt like he was the one that was supposed to be the High Tinker, and set up this daring betrayal to take the High Tinker title. Secretly, he anticipated for the plan to fail horribly, and he'd pin it all on Mekatork, and then Thermoplug would just swoop in and save the day. Somehow. According to Thermoplug's calculations, around 30% of the gnomes would die before he swooped in to save the day. Well,
Pythagorean
he
theorem.
kind of fudged the numbers a bit, because by the end, 80% of the gnomish population
F.
was dead. Furthermore, Sicko Thermoplug went entirely insane and fell ill to the radiation he unleashed haphazardly. Sicko then proclaimed himself to be the new quote-unquote king of Gnomeregan and ordered his crazed leper gnome servants to do his bidding. So in a weird way, he kinda sorta got what he wanted. The small amount of gnomes left looked for Mekatork for answers, and with a heavy heart, the High Tinkerer led the surviving gnomes out of Gnomeregan and fled to Ironforge, where the entirety of the gnomish population was downsized to a single room in Ironforge.
Damn. That's where all the Gnomeregan quests are from. It makes sense now.
But in Classic, a group of adventurers stormed into Gnomeregan to kill Thermoplug, but they actually killed an engineered copy of him. But then in Wrath of the Lich King, the Gnomeregan Resistance and Alliance players tried again, but it ended with a toxic bomb 26 times more powerful than the first one, exploding.
Retreat!
I don't remember that. That was in Wrath?
Our tale doesn't end there.
Yeah, I don't
In the
remember
short
that
story,
event.
cut short, Gelbin Mekatork snuck his way back into Gnomeregan. The High Tinkerer returned to his workshop, where he found an old heirloom. That made him ponder his past choices, like, why the hell would you trust a guy named Sicko in the first place? Anyways,
True.
the room was booby-trapped.
Usurpers! Gnomeregan is mine!
Gelbin could hear Thermoplug approaching. He needed to think quickly, or he'd surely meet his demise. The brilliant engineer repurposed the trap Thermoplug had set for him, and when Thermoplug entered the room to kill Mekatork, he cut him in half.
Damn. It's like Dragon
I
Ball
will
Z.
now quote the short story
Frieza.
directly. My legs are in that half.
Indeed they are, my friend. And with a razor-quick spring cut and steam cauterization from your ruptured engine, the bleeding is probably minimal. I'd wait around to see if the rats find you before your Trog minions do. But I've seen enough of the latter for one day.
You're just gonna leave me here?
You don't deserve a quick death, sicko. You deserve a long, miserable existence in a dark hole surrounded by filthy monsters. In fact, you have created your very own prison right here. Better than any I could have built for you. You definitely outdid me on this one. Congratulations. Besides, if you do survive, I can't think of anybody I'd rather have leading these beasts than one of their own. Enjoy your remaining time in jail, my friend. Your sentence is almost over.
Damn, what a badass.
And with that, Gelbin left his arch-nemesis for dead. In Cataclysm, Thermoplug would later die when adventurers stormed into Gnomeregan one last time. But that isn't the last we saw of Thermoplug.
Was he back in Shadowlands? Jeez.
For in Shadowlands, there is a companion pet called Mordal Evening Star. And the description of this pet reads, Mordal is a ruthless tormentor of the smallest souls, who some say he was known in life as Thermoplug.
Oh my gosh, how funny.
So, after the Twisted King of Gnomeregan died, his soul was sent to the Maw, a realm of infinite torment and pain. Funnily enough, that is exactly how I describe Shadowlands. Anyways, Gnomeregan still has not been recaptured by the gnomes, at least not fully. And the story of the city's downfall is a very, very large portion of gnome lore in WoW.
Cool.
For the most part, the race has kind of just been the funny comic relief and hasn't really been developed or expanded upon much except for...
Yeah, I don't know, man.
These things.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense in the lore.
Maybe we can talk about that in another video.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense in the lore. I had no idea gnomes were, like, originally meta gnomes. That's wild. Check out the Patreon exclusive content. Okay, cool. Yo, thanks for linking this. Okay, guys, be honest. Press 1 in the chat if you knew that gnomes were originally robots. Press 2 in the chat or any other number if you had no idea. Dude, come on. No, guys, stop typing. There's no way so many of you knew that. I had no clue. Come on, don't make me feel like an idiot here. Yeah, dwarves too, I guess. Yeah, dwarves and gnomes were both robots? Nah, bro. There's no way most people knew that. Unless you've seen this video, there's no way. That's wild. I was too busy farming rank 1 titles. Yeah, it's probably true. Yeah, you're probably right on that. Yeah, I have no... I thought these came much later. Like, way later. That doesn't make any sense. Huh. Deej did a TikTok on this, too? Oh, well, if you guys watch Deej, if you watch Platinum WoW, then you know more than I do. All right, there it goes. All right, I'm actually happy we watched this one. That's like a perfect lore react to get into right before P2 starts.